Fit in 10 Nation. It is day 25 of the Fit in 10 Challenge. And last night on Slack, I asked you guys to give me a time where you are available for a group shop. It looks like Sunday mornings are probably going to be the best time, but I need to hear from more of you. So respond to me, let me know. Also, I'm not getting a lot of form responses in, so actually I guess I should throw it out there again, the link to put in your responses, your weekly response to me, or your feedback regarding the challenge. Okay, so look on Slack, give me a time that you want to do a group shop. Again, it's got to be in the morning. We got to beat the rush, especially if it's on a weekend. I guess if it's a weekday, it doesn't really matter what time we go. Weekend though, it's got to be early, okay, like right when they open. All right, somebody's asking me about multivitamins. Is Centrum a good multivitamin? Well, let me tell you this. If you have a multivitamin and you put it in one pill, you can't possibly be getting very much, because you know each of these vitamins and minerals need to be bound to another substance, basically, for them to be absorbable. So if you're going to put a multivitamin all in one pill, that pill needs to be massive. In fact, you probably need to eat it with a knife and fork, okay? Okay, well, I mean, I might be exaggerating, but you know, you can't fit it into one pill, all right? So when you see a multivitamin mineral, you should be looking for something like this, okay? And yeah, okay, shameless plug here, I do sell these. This is the one I use. It's not cheap, but you know, anything of any great value will not be cheap. Anything that's going to be worth its value will not be cheap. And these are a lot of different pills, and for good reason, because you just can't fit everything in one pill. Unless, of course, you're not really binding it to anything, or you're just putting in a very minuscule amount, so you're not really getting any really potency. Okay? So I use this. I do notice a difference. You know, fair warning, these are fairly expensive. They're about $2 a pack. But I do notice a difference, and I use one every single day. All right? Primer Performance. Definitely not Centrum. Okay? Do not use Centrum. All right. Next question. Does it matter the sequence of exercises from the program? So yes, it matters. Things are not put in there just willy-nilly, okay? So let me give you a strong example. So if you look in your guide, you'll see that biceps and triceps. So we do like a bicep movement, and then we've got like bench dips. They're put at the end, and those are isolated movements. And those, your biceps and your triceps are movements that you use on your rows, right? Or you use on your pull-ups. And your triceps you use on your overhead press and your bench press. So we don't want to pre-exhaust those areas before doing our compound movements. That is our multi-jointed movements. Our movements where we need these secondary muscles to help us with the movement, okay? So always remember this, multi-jointed movements first, isolated movements later on, okay? Now, that does depend on your goal. I do, you know, I have trained sometimes myself where I do an isolated movement because I want to pre-exhaust. So for example, like I did a chest fly, I wanted to pre-exhaust my chest before I did a press. So I purposely did that. But in your guys' case, I want you to keep everything, you know, the way that I have it, okay? So now, could you do pull-ups and overhead press before you do bench press and rows? Sure. Could you do rows and pull-ups before you do your pressing? Yeah, sure. But I like to go actually back and forth between antagonistic movements, but you could do that, yes, okay? Just do not do those isolated movements first. Okay, all right, message of the day. You don't have to be extreme to achieve results, right? I'm gonna remind you guys again and again and again and again, you don't have to be extreme to achieve results. What do you need to be, okay? Or what do you have to do? Well, you need to be reasonable, and you need to be consistent. It's about being reasonable. It sounds boring, but it's about being reasonable and being consistent over a long period of time. That's how you get anywhere in anything, really. That's how you build an empire. And when I say empire, I mean, like, you know, anything of any great value, okay, is considered an empire to me. So things take time, and they need a plan and a process, of course. But ultimately, in order for it to be repeatable day in, day out, it has to be reasonable. And of course, as I just said, it has to be repeatable. So it needs to be consistent, okay? So, you know, I always want you to remember this. Even after this challenge, or as you go through this challenge, you may be tempted to do something extreme because you see results right away, but you know, these are not going to be sustainable, okay, and can have bad ramifications, okay, like crash dieting can have bad ramifications, right? We went through that a number of videos ago, okay? You need to do something that is reasonable and consistent, all right? So you don't have to be extreme to achieve results, you just need to be reasonable and consistent, all right? Which I think this challenge is pretty reasonable and consistent, especially as you continue through it. It just gets easier and easier, okay? Except for the carbs going down. But anyways, I want to talk about one other thing. It is 6 minutes here, but I don't have time. So, okay, I'll do that. I'll do it later. Okay. All right, so you got to submit, you got to commit, right? You've got to submit yourself. That means you don't fight this. You just say, okay, yeah, I'm doing this and I'm just going to do it. Don't fight it. Just do it and make it work for yourself, okay? Your motivation's highest in the morning. Do what you don't get done first thing in the morning. That's where you'll get it done. I hate stretching. I hate it. The only way I get it done is if I do it first thing in the morning when I wake up. Okay, that's the only way that's gonna happen. Okay, so there's an example for you all. All right, if you have a hard time doing something, whether it's food prep or planning or working out or whatever, do it first thing in the morning right when you wake up. I guarantee you it'll make it much easier. All right, submit and commit and stick to this challenge. Be reasonable and consistent more than anything. I've set out a reasonable level. You just need to be consistent. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.